Well, hi everybody, and welcome to another CMYK Sabbath gathering. My name is Matt, and this weekend as a church, we are taking this Sunday off. We're spending the day celebrating and resting in everything that God has already done. That means we're not meeting at a regular time and location as a church, but we are spending the day celebrating relationships and creation around us and just allowing ourselves to breathe a little deeper. So wherever you are and whatever's going on, we hope that you can grab some friends and family around you and spend these next few moments with us thinking about and then maybe later discussing and talking about some things that we think really matter. It was about 10 years ago that me and a couple of my friends decided to do something that we were so excited about. We decided to start a band. And so on a regular basis, we would go up to our drummer's house where he had this epic drum kit set up, and we would spend hour upon hour jamming on different songs and writing different melodies, trying to figure out what are the best lyrics to communicate what we're trying to say with this song. We jammed all the time, and we felt like we were getting better and better and better. We felt like the songs that we were writing were getting better and better and better. And a period of time went by, literally years went by, and this thing started to be talked about when it came to this band. And it was that we weren't a real band, because the problem was we were spending all this time and energy every week practicing and doing all these different writing pieces, but we were never actually performing. In fact, we never even had a band name. One of the wives of one of the band members decided to label our band as the Patty Pretenders. And the reason she did this is because she said we're not a real band, because a real band actually performs. A real band actually gets up in front of people and plays the songs that they've been practicing. In other words, we've been spending all this time and energy practicing and writing and doing all of this stuff. It was hard work. It was a lot of time and energy, but we never actually came to that final push of performing the music that we were creating. I think all of us understand that when it comes to art or different things, there's this period of time where you work hard, you create, you make, but you do it with a thing in mind. You do it with an end goal in mind. You're going to perform it, you're going to showcase it, you're going to share it with the people around you. And it's a weird thing to just get stuck and caught in this creation role. Maybe it's something that we find when it comes to becoming a woodworker. So you buy all the different equipment, you get all the tools, but you never actually create any of the woodwork. You never actually sell anything. You just have all the tools. Or maybe you're in a relationship and you never actually grow in intimacy. You never actually cross that line into marriage. You just date and date and date and date all the time, when the reason for dating is for you to actually find that intimate relationship. It's an interesting thing. Something happens so that you can cross the line and say, this is why we went through all of that. As a church, we're walking through the book of Genesis together. And in Genesis chapter 1, it's this beautiful poem of God creating. And it says God takes this period of time, these 6 days, and he speaks everything that we see into creation. It's beautiful, it's awesome, it's amazing. But then something really interesting happens on the 7th day. It says that God crosses a line and he actually rests from all of his creation. Genesis chapter 2 says it like this. This is starting in verse 1. It says, "Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day, God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on that 7th day from all of his work. So God blessed the 7th day, and he made it holy, because on it God rested from all his work that he had done in creation." It's interesting. God goes through this period of time where he's creating, he's making, he's doing all of this stuff, but it's as if it leads somewhere, like a band practicing, getting ready to perform. All of this creation leads to rest. So God stops, he looks back on that period and he says, that's good. He blesses it, he calls it finished, and then he chooses to simply rest. I think we understand that we all want more. We all want more when it comes to the relationships around us. We're looking at the people, and it's not to say that what's around us is bad, but we just would love for maybe more out of our kids. We want to figure out, how do we get more out of our marriage? How do we get more emotional joy out of the relationships and friendships around us? We maybe all want more when it comes to our career. There's things that we look at and we wish that we had more control, more influence, or maybe we had more finances coming into the household, so we just want to continue to move up that ladder. For some of us, it comes to more stuff. We look at what we have and we think, man, my life would be so much better if I just had this thing or that thing, or two of these, or maybe three of those, that we just wish we had more stuff and toys. Even for others of us, more is used when we think about our spirituality, our relationship with God, our understanding of Jesus. We just want to continue to have more and more stuff. And so what do we do to get more? We create, we make, we work. We go through these periods of time similar to God in those 6 days of creation, where we go to work, or we spend time on the relationship. We spend time trying to work up the finances and save and put things aside. We spend all of this energy creating and getting more. But there's a problem for most of us. The problem is that period never ends. We always think that we need more. We always feel that we're not quite there with our kids yet. We're not quite there with our relationship. We're not quite there with God. We're not there when they just came out with this new thing and it's cheap and it's on sale, so I just need more of that stuff. We never cross that line. And it's not the invitation of Genesis, the invitation to cross that line of creation leading to rest, that you work hard, you make, you do these things. Those are not bad things, but it's not for the sake of just more. It's for the sake of you being able to take a period of time, like we see God do in Scripture, and look back on everything that you've done, everything that you've created, to look on it and say, it's finished. It's good, to bless it, to make it holy, and to say, that's a good thing. What's happening with my family is good. I have enough stuff. Look at all of these things that are piling up in my garage or in my basement. To look at my career and say, I don't need to try to advance anymore. I can take a period of time and say, no, I'm good, I'm blessed, and this is okay for me to just rest. This seventh day is the climax of creation. It's the biggest deal that God was leading everything towards, to find rest. And it's in that God calls it holy. It's sacred. It's set apart. And for thousands and thousands of years, people have understood and believed that it's in that rest, in that seventh day, that period of time, that God dwells in a holy, sacred, set apart way. In other words, if we are looking for more of what God has designed all of creation to be about, it's for us to find Him in that period of rest. That if we're looking for more in our spiritual life, it's not found in just doing more and more stuff. It's actually found in maybe taking this period of rest, of just stopping from trying to do all of these different things, and understand He loves you, He's for you, and He's with you, and to breathe deep in that and know that He's there uniquely. So you could say it like this: creation leads to rest, which leads to God. So for you to rest in your marriage for a period of time, you to rest in your stuff for a period of time, you to rest in your career with your family, you to rest in your spirituality, all of these things, God desires to find you there. And so what would this look like? What would it look like for you to do this? I think if you and I are going to engage on this and at least dialogue about it, there's a couple things that need to happen. One, it needs to be a tangible thing that we're resting from. In other words, we can't just tell ourselves, I'm going to rest and not buy as much stuff. We need to have something tangible and say, I'm only going to spend this amount of money, or I'm not going to buy anything on this realm of things because I have enough and I can take a rest, a break in that area. So it needs to be tangible. The second thing is, I think it needs to be disruptive. We see that this seventh day was disruptive of the other 6 days of creation. In other words, it needs to be something substantial. It can't just be, I usually spend, $300 on purchasing stuff, but this month I'm gonna disrupt and I'm only gonna spend $299 on stuff. No, disruptive. Make sure it's something that's completely different. That's what helps this be a period of rest. And last but not least, I think it's relational. It's something that we invite other people into, and we find ourselves dialoguing and sharing this journey of, I'm in this period of rest, and it's there that we find God. So here's the encouragement. Not to just think about this, not to just watch this video, but to maybe grab the person next to you, whether you're at a coffee shop or you're at home, talk about it with a family member. What would it look like for you to go through this period of rest? See, the Jewish people, they did this every 7 years. They called it the Shemitah. It was a time for them to rest the land. And for us, what would it look like? What would it look like for you to rest from needing more and more and more stuff?